because I want to talk about almost a little bit about like what you were saying, Leslie, when you're talking about spreading the gospel, and someone said discipleship. I think it was Prophetess Mary. When you're out doing kingdom advancement work, wherever you may do it, people aren't always going to come to the church. The kingdom goes to the people. We want them one day to come to the church, but the kingdom does not wait for them to come to the church. The kingdom goes to where they are, and like I said, infiltrates. You can share the good news, the gospel of Christ, evangelism. You can do that. And a person can then say, you know, I want to accept Christ, so they accept Christ. Depending on who that person is, you may have to start discipleship with them right away. You may have to start discipleship with them until they come into someone's church, whatever church is appropriate for them. Our church may not be appropriate. Our church is not everybody's cup of tea. You know? But you need to disciple that person until they get into a house of God and get connected to a community church, to a church community. But how you disciple everybody, discipleship comes on levels and is situational. Everyone does not need the same type of discipling. If you are discipling, let's say some children, you happen to be a teacher or whatever, you work with kids in an after-school program, whatever. How you're going to disciple them is going to be very different, because you're discipling them by the conversations you have with them. You're teaching them about the character of God based on the conversations you're having with them, and how you're presenting Christ to them, and how you are showing how Christ's character or God's character can help them relieve whatever's going on in their life that gave them that felt need to accept Christ. Because people need a felt need. They're just not going to be like, oh, I have nothing better to do, I think I'll accept Christ. There's a felt need. When you're discipling somebody, or when you're mentoring, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to use the word discipling just for lack of a different word at the moment. When you're discipling somebody, you have to disciple them based on the context of where they are. If they're a college student, that's a whole different type of discipleship. If there's someone who's on the street, that's a whole different type of discipleship. If they're a professional, that's a different type of discipleship. Part of the de-churched people, or the people who don't want to come to church, are the educated people, and it's not because they think they're too smart for God. We like to say that. But we don't always minister to the needs of professionals. That is why there's someone who's called to that group. If they're not coming here, who's going there? To professionals. And when you go to those professionals, you're not talking to them the same way that you're talking to a homeless person. That's a whole different conversation. Same Jesus, same endpoint, conversation is different.